Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Survive series. Or the Survival series, sorry. So in this episode, we're going to be creating some UI elements. For this episode, obviously this is only the third one, so we've only created our stamina system, but we're going to need a way to display this other than print strings because we don't want those in game. And what we're going to do is we're going to be creating a widget to hold all of these stat bars because they will go in the same one. They'll have the same logic for each of them. And the first one is obviously stamina. So that's all we're going to be making in this episode. And hopefully this will be a longer one just so I can explain it a bit more. But future ones for hunger, thirst, health, they should all be a bit slower or a bit quicker, and we should speed through them quickly. So if you're coming straight off your project from last time, just like I have because I've just finished recording that second episode, make sure to go over to File and Save All. We want to make sure this is all saved so we don't lose anything in the in times of where the engine might crash or anything like that. So firstly, what we want to do is head over to our UI folder. If you haven't already created it in the first episode, just right click, create folder, and call it UI. So right click and go to user interface down here, and we're going to go to widget blueprint. Now for this widget blueprint, we just want the common user widget, and we're going to call this WB underscore stat bars. Now you may wonder why I'm calling it stat bars, where we may have something like a mini map in the future, a compass, stuff like that, and that's because we're going to hopefully create a master widget that we can use in the future. I have had troubles with master widgets in the past, especially on 5.6. I don't know if there's a bug at the moment, but nothing seems to want to work when it goes onto those. But we're going to try anyway and hopefully get through it. So once you've created this, open it up and we're going to full screen it. So the first thing you're going to want is a canvas panel. This canvas panel, you drag it off the palette and go into here. Now, if you are completely new to Unreal Engine, this will look a bit different from all the main windows in here. So if we go into it, you'll have a few main things. So this is basically your canvas. This is where you put everything. This is where you design it, put all that stuff. Now, Unreal Engine isn't great for UI design. If you want some high quality UI design, then you can either fully make it from scratch with Photoshop, or there are programs out there to create some UI. Anyway, we're going to compile and save because we must do that very often. And we're going to search for a vertical box. Now this vertical box we can just drag into our canvas panel, but we're going to want to change the dimensions a little bit. So over here in the details panel, go over to anchors and hold Control, and you can hold Shift if you want to go to this bottom left one, because we want to have it so it's in the bottom left. Again, you can have it wherever you like. You don't have to have it there. Now, I am going to move the position inwards by 50 by each. Oh, minus 50 for this one. And we're going to want to bring it out a little bit. So I like to bring it out like this, and then whatever, I like rounding it. So 375 for this one. And then we'll say 215 for this one. And the reason we're doing it in the bottom left is just so it's visible. This may change, like maybe we want to have some more diegetic UI, which if you don't know what that is, diegetic UI is a way for seeing HUD elements but more realistic. So for example, you've got the forest has the tarpaulin, I think it is, laying on the ground with all your items of your inventory in there. You've got, I think Dead Space has your health bar on the back of your backpack. It's things that are like in the real game world that symbolize something that would normally be on UI. So once we've created these, we want to now add a progress bar. And we're going to add just one for now. We're going to just create it down here. In fact, no, we'll add 4. Add 4 progress bars because these progress bars will be used later. And we're going to just rename these. So first one we'll call health because that's the most important. Then we'll call this one stamina. If you don't know how I'm renaming so quickly, just click on it and press F2. Stamina, hunger, and thirst. Now, again, these may be changed in the future. That's why I'm having them very basic. But I would highly recommend, I should have done this beforehand, but setting fill to every single one. And I'd also set the padding of the top to maybe 30. It's a bit much, isn't it? You know what? We'll see what it's like for all of them to have it, and then we will move on. We don't want to spend too much time doing this. You know what? Yeah, that's okay. So stamina, what we'll do is we'll keep that color the same. We'll set health to red, because who doesn't have a red health bar? Hunger we'll set to orange, because that one just strikes with me. And thirst we'll have, actually we'll keep that the same, and we'll have stamina as more of a darker blue. Maybe not purple, but yeah, we'll have a bit more of a darker blue. And these all have to be variables, by the way. But you can actually see here, this bit in the details panel, which is percentage. Now if you slide it across, you can actually see that they all will show the respective colors we set. And just like so, we now have these stamina bars, but at the moment they'll just be set like that. These have no way of actually knowing what we have, and that's what we're now going to change. So stamina, what you want to do is you want to head over to the percentage, just like we were doing, and click this little button here that looks a bit like a broken chain of some sort. Click it and click create binding. It'll now open this, and you have this new function that is created inside the widget blueprint. And what we now want to do is we actually want to cast to our first person character. Now if you haven't done a cast before, it's basically a way just for blueprints to talk to each other, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to drag off of get stamina percentage, and we're going to go cast to BP underscore first person character. So now we've done this, if we compile, it'll give us an error because it hasn't determined what type of object this is. You can see here the type of object is undetermined to connect something to imply a specific type. So we're going to drag off, and for first person character it's very easy to do this. Just drag off and go get player controller. Now other ways to doing this for other objects would be array. Oh, I've just realised I've done controller. No, get player character. There you go, that will fix it. You can do find actor of class, and then when it finds it, it will then cast to it. So we now have the player character cast, and now what we want to do is we're going to drag off of this pin here. So we're getting a node from the first person character. So if we open that back up, in case you haven't closed it, don't worry, I'm just going to open mine quickly. If you haven't closed it, then just check through here. What one do you think we're going to need to match up with it? We're going to need 2 in total. That is current stamina and max stamina, or down in your variables under sprinting, it's max stamina and current stamina. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag off of the blue pin and search get current underscore or current stamina. I forgot the underscores will not show. So get current stamina and get max stamina. Once you have those, they'll look a bit like this. And now you want to drag off of stamina or current stamina and go divide. When you have the divide node, drag the max stamina into there, and I believe that should be all good. I don't think there's anything else, but we will double check. So now you may think if we load in, it's not going to show. The bars aren't there. Why aren't they there? And that's because we need to actually add this to the viewport. It's very easy to do this. So we're going to go, I'm actually going to create this now, just so I don't forget. We're going to add a custom event. And we're going to say, we're going to call this one, what should we call this one? We'll call it, so guys, because it's not showing, we need to actually cast to the widget and add it to the viewport. Now, I've created a custom event here. So make your custom event how we did in the previous episode. And I'm going to call mine cast to all widgets. It's a bit messy and a bit unoptimized, but since this is a single player game, it shouldn't matter too much. Now we're going to create another one. And we're going to say add to viewport on start. Now, again, these names are very messy, but we're not going to need to use them all the time. It's just simply going to be at the very start. I do tell you not to do this too much, but this won't hurt too much because it's simply just a name. And since we're only going to be need to call it once, it's not going to be too bad. So we're going to add a begin play node. So right click and search begin play as I did while talking. And we're going to call both these. So we're going to call cast to all widgets. And then we're going to call add to viewport on start. So we've got this. Now we're going to need to go to variables in a minute, and we're going to need to create another category because we're going to have a new type of variable section. So we're going to cast to all widgets, and for the first one it's going to be we're going to go on here and we're going to do create widget, just like so. We're going to create one of these. We're going to go to class and we're going to go WB underscore stats bar. Again, this may change later, so don't worry. We may change it and it may not even be necessary. So we may delete some stuff, but that's just sometimes how it goes. Now go to the return value and right click and promote to variable. This variable we'll just call WB underscore stat bar. Stat bars. Just like so. Now we're going to want to change the category to widget casts because we're going to want to organize this. So since this is the only one, it can stay here for now. But we're now going to want to go to this next one, which is add to viewport on start. We can now drag onto stat bars, and we're going to go to add to viewport. If you ever want to remove widgets from your screen, I'll show you how to do it properly, but you can actually call a node called remove from parent, and that will do that. So now this should load up properly when we press play. Just like so. Now we have it. Now let's test it. And look at that. It now shows how the stat bars will load, and you know, when we stop sprinting, it will then go up, and it updates at all times. So guys, before we end this episode, I will just go through and show you the last little bit of showing you all the code together, which I know this has been a long one, but there's been a few tangents and a few explaining things to do. So here is the main code we've done, which for like 15 minutes is ridiculous, but don't worry, we're getting through it, we're going to push through it, and videos will get shorter as time goes on. But guys, that is the code, and obviously if you want to see the designer once again, it's over here. These are all the little bars. We'll change them in the future, don't worry. And on here, this is the little code we got here, but it's not too much. And before we end this episode out, what we're going to do is we're actually going to delete these print strings because we don't need those anymore, because we now have an actual stamina bar that tells us. And now we want to go to these. We're going to highlight these and call it add to viewport start, and we're going to drag on these and we're going to go cast to all widgets on start. We'll call it like that just so we can keep an eye on where they are, and then we'll call this one begin. Okay. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry it's a long one, but hopefully we'll get through them quicker. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.